In the world's poorest countries, around 1 in 4 children are engaged in child labour.
The world's biggest food company, Nestle.
The Nestle company.
Nestle collects millions of gallons a year from springs in Southern California.
Would you agree with me that your product should not be used where there is impure water?
They are taking the water that should not be owned by anybody.
Using indentured servants in parts of Asia, of using child slave labor in parts of Africa. They've been trying to steal water everywhere from Brazil to Flint, Michigan. And safety, the Nestle Corporation really seems to be in a league all of its own. What's going on with this company?
Nestle is the biggest food and drink company globally, owning tons of different brands. They sell things like chocolate, cereal, coffee, baby food, water, and ice cream. But there's a dark side to Nestle. They've been accused of some really terrible stuff, like using child labor, causing harm to babies, exploiting people in Nepal, and saying water isn't a basic human right. So, is Nestle really as bad as people say? And if they are, why haven't they been stopped? Let's take a closer look at the shady side of Nestle and how it all started. The man behind the Nestle. The tale begins with the birth of Henry Nestle in Frankfurt in 1814. He was the 11th child in a family deeply entrenched in the glass-cutting trade for generations. Yet, Henry's fascination with chemistry led him away from this legacy. Despite familial tensions, he pursued his dream of becoming a pharmacist, embarking on an apprenticeship at just 15. Eventually, he left Germany for Switzerland, where he dabbled in medicinal concoctions and chemical experiments. Nestle's roots dug deep in Switzerland, where Henry laid the foundation for what would become a corporate behemoth. However, his journey to success was fraught with setbacks. Before striking gold, he ventured into various entrepreneurial ventures, from producing liqueurs to fertilizers, but none gained traction. It wasn't until Henry's 50s that he stumbled upon his breakthrough. Disturbed by reports of high infant mortality due to breastfeeding difficulties, he saw an opportunity. With determination and spurred by personal tragedy, his wife's health struggles, Henry delved into creating a life-saving alternative. By 1867, he concocted one of the first baby formulas, birthing Nestle as a company to market it. Initially, Nestle's intentions were noble, a humble endeavor to aid infants in need. However, this narrative took a darker turn as the company burgeoned into a global powerhouse. Henry's baby formula catapulted Nestle's success, paving the way for further innovations like chocolate milk. By the late 1800s, Nestle transformed from a modest Swiss pharmacy into a lucrative enterprise. As Henry approached retirement, Nestle underwent seismic changes. New owners propelled the company into expansion, merging with rivals and diversifying product lines. By the 1920s, Nestle dominated the market, introducing new chocolates and beverages. The onset of World War II further boosted Nestle's fortunes, with instant coffee becoming a staple in soldier rations. Yet, behind this facade of prosperity lurked insidious intentions. Nestle's quest for dominance led to acquisitions and aggressive business tactics, amassing wealth and power at the expense of ethics. A sinister plan brewed, poised to profit at the expense of countless lives. So imagine you're in the 1970s and you've invented baby formula, a life-saving creation for babies who, for various reasons, can't be breastfed by their mothers. However, helping those specific moms isn't enough. It's a small segment of the population, a limited customer base. How do you make a fortune with that? The solution? Expand your formula business even more. Instead of only selling to moms who can't breastfeed, what if you could sell to every mother? Your customer base would instantly increase by 20 to 100 times. But there's a catch. You're up against some stiff competition. Mother Nature's milk, vastly superior in nutritional value for infants compared to the powdered cow's milk mixed with sugar that you're selling. So, you need a way to convince the general public that formula is far better than natural breast milk. Enter propaganda. Taking a page from history's foremost experts at molding public opinion, cigarette companies, you embark on an influencer campaign. Full-color magazine ads feature respectable-looking doctors in white coats puffing away with slogans like "More doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarettes." An early example of an influencer campaign. The strategy? People look up to doctors when it comes to what they consume, just as they look up to celebrities for what's cool. So, to get mothers to choose baby formula over breast milk, you enlist doctors to tell them to. In places like Asia and Africa, you even hire saleswomen, dress them up like nurses, and have them hand out free samples and medical advice. But here's the problem. Powdered cow's milk, sugar, and vegetable oil aren't even close to real breast milk. They lack essential nutrients and can't help babies fight off diseases or build natural immunity. By 1978, Nestle executives were brought before the U.S. Senate to explain why babies were getting sick or dying due to their formula milk.
Agree with me that your product should not be used where there is impure water? Yes or no?
We give all the instructions.
Just answer. What is your position?
Of course not, but we cannot cope with that.
Well, as I understand what you say is where there's impure water, it should not be used.
Yes.
Where the people are so poor.
The health organization set new regulations by 1981, making it illegal to compare breast milk with formula alternatives. Nestle faced backlash, but they adapted, moving their marketing to places with fewer restrictions, like Southeast Asia and the Pacific, where formula sales were skyrocketing. They continued acting like they were breast milk's biggest fan in the US and Europe, even creating a baby ban to drive their point home. Despite boycotts and stricter laws, Nestle reportedly continued paying doctors to promote their products, giving out free samples and advertising in hospitals. Formula milk had a 23% profit margin, making companies like Nestle around 23 cents for every dollar in sales. The industry is set to be worth more than $110 billion by 2026.
I would almost argue you should never give your child any formula that you haven't run by your pediatrician.
But Nestle's questionable practices don't end there. They're involved in controversies around water, chocolate, even exploiting debt in impoverished countries like Ethiopia. Nestle, the biggest food company in the world, operates in 190 countries, employs almost 300,000 people, and has 376 factories worldwide. Despite their controversial tactics, Nestle has managed to maintain its status as an international food giant.
For one tanker load, Nestle pays $10. Once bottled, the same water costs $50,000.
The water mafia. Nestle's involvement in the water business has not been without its share of controversies. While tap water is relatively inexpensive, Nestle capitalized on the market by bottling water from various sources and selling it at a significant markup. There have even been instances where Nestle sold bottled tap water, facing lawsuits as a result. In countries like Pakistan, Nestle was accused of diverting clean drinking water away from villages, packaging it, and then reselling it back to the same communities, exploiting their basic need for water.
Extrem, würde ich sagen, wird von einigen von den NGOs vertreten, die darauf pochen, dass Wasser zu einem öffentlichen Recht erklärt wird. Das heißt, als Mensch sollten Sie einfach Recht haben, Wasser zu haben. Das ist die eine Extremlösung.
I've always supported the human right to water. Everyone should have enough clean, safe water to meet their fundamental daily needs.
Bloody chocolate.
Scrunches when it crunches. That's why I love Nestle Crunch.
Chocolate is scrumptious when it crunches. That's why I love Nestle.
Chocolate, one of Nestle's most famous products, including Kit Kat and Milky Bar, has its dark side. Nestle, along with other major chocolate companies, faced accusations of using cacao beans harvested through child slavery and forced labor. In the early 2000s, a report exposed Nestle, Cadbury, and Mars for knowingly harvested through unethical practices. Nestle promised to eliminate child labor from its supply chain by 2005, but missed several deadlines. To address public outrage, Nestle launched fair trade Kit Kats, presenting them as a symbol of reform, while continuing questionable practices for other products. Ethiopian debt controversy. In 2002, during one of the worst famines in Ethiopia, Nestle faced backlash for demanding repayment of a debt from the Ethiopian government. The debt, stemming from a German company that Nestle had acquired, was initially $1.5 million but had escalated to $6 million due to exchange rate changes. Despite Ethiopia's dire situation, Nestle refused to write off the debt, leading to severe public relations fallout and boycotts. Today, despite these controversies, Nestle remains a dominant force in the food industry, operating under almost 2,000 different brands. The company operates globally, employing nearly 300,000 people and maintaining 376 factories worldwide.
Almost 120 lorries come here every day, and they drop off coffee, chocolate, Kit Kat, toffee crisp, you name it. If it's made by Nestle, it will come through here, and then it will get sorted by machines who will then load it onto a monorail that runs right up and down the facility. Automated cranes, like this one coming in behind me now, then load all of the chocolate, storage, all of Nestle's goods into this big warehouse. It can hold up to 100,000 crates. And then after it's been sorted and stored, sometimes for months, it will then end up over here, where then lorries will then take it out to supermarkets up and down the country.
So the Nestle's journey is marked by controversies, including water exploitation, questionable baby formula marketing, and ethical concerns in the chocolate industry. Despite facing public backlash, Nestle remains the world's largest food company, operating in 190 countries. The company's legacy is one of navigating public relations challenges, ethical dilemmas, and corporate decisions that prioritize profits over social responsibility. As consumers demand more accountability, Nestle's future hinges on its ability to address concerns and align with evolving ethical expectations. If you enjoyed the insights shared today, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more enlightening content. Your support means the world to me. Until next time, stay tuned and take care.